Hi folks, it's Max from Really High on Android, and here's my second vlog, number 2, baby. So I've got a question from Jacob910. He says, "Hey Max, can you give me some tips and ideas on how to learn about programming? And I'm majoring in computer science at school. I'm just getting started, so it'd be cool if you throw out and vlogs talking about how you got into it. Thanks, Max." Okay. Thanks for the question, Jacob. So I am actually, how I started with computers is that I started with actually my friend had one of those really old Macs, no, Apple IIs or whatever, and I used to go over to his place when I was like 6. I think it was back in 1986 or 1987. And I was playing with it. I kind of was interested in computers, and you know, my friend's computer. And then I got my first computer when I first came to America when I was 9. I was just into computers, you know, because I was into video games. I think I had one of those Nintendos or Ataris. I don't even remember now. I was using that. Anyway, I came here when I was 1989, and I was 9 years old, and they had these things called Computer Expo, and my dad or my whole family actually went to it because I wanted to go to the show, because they don't really have computer shows in Korea. So I went there and I bought a computer. Actually, my dad bought me a $3,000 386DX 25 megahertz computer. It was so cool. It was the fastest computer then. He paid $3,000. Came with a MS-DOS. The first night I had it, I was messing with all these. I also bought a MS-DOS book. Well, my dad bought it for me, and I couldn't read English, so I was all typing on these commands. And you know, one of the first commands you learn is how to delete stuff. So I typed delete, no, del command.com, because you know the computer came with just MS-DOS. It has nothing else, and I was gonna delete one of the files. So the first file that came up was command.com. So I deleted the file and pretty much bricked my computer, and it didn't work. It really sucked because I just got my computer for my for whatever, and you know, I just, you know, but I took it. We went back to the dealers. They were in Silicon Valley. We went there, and then they fixed it. They even loaded a bunch of cool Tetris games. 3D Tetris was the thing back then. And then I was on my way. I was, you know, messing with it. I couldn't really understand English, but I just tried different codes, and you know, since then I've been programming a lot. And when I was like 9 through 10, I was learning C language because I couldn't speak English, so I had nothing to do per day. So I would learn all these languages. I thought C++ was really cool, so I started learning that when I was 9. And then I got away from computers when I went to high school. And then I just decided, since I was good with computers, I would major in computer engineering when I went to college. It was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. They have no girls at the college, so I don't recommend anybody. If you want to learn about computers, you don't have to go to college these days. You can Google it. Start making your own programs. I know a ton of people who, you know, learn about web programming, programming in general. You can learn it all yourself. In fact, before I went to college, I knew most of the languages. I didn't study, you know, at all when I went to college. The only thing I learned was like physics and math and all this uninteresting stuff. So I feel like it was more of a waste of time. Seriously, in this world, you go to college and you get a college degree, and it's just a piece of paper. If you don't have actual experience, you know, no one's going to hire you. So that's kind of how I got into it. And you know, I've always messed around with Linux a lot on my free time. It was always a hobby, like, you know, ever since I was 9 or 6 or 7 or whatever. So I was always hacking, you know, stuff. You know, I have a bunch of books over there. It's all about PHP hacking, SQL hacking, you know. So, you know, I've been reading hacking books since I was little, and I highly recommend everybody to read. Because when I was 9, I was reading all these C books. I didn't know what integers were. I couldn't understand it, you know. Plus, I couldn't speak English. But you know, when I grew up and I, you know, started programming, messing with websites, it just kind of like flew into my head. Now I kind of, once I got it, it was really easy. And I really sucked out making websites. My first website was just a really crappy HTML website. I really got into websites at one of my jobs. I was working for this company called Compile and making a website, and I was looking at this blog called MakeZine, and it was a blog. So I was researching all these what is it? The blogging software, and I found WordPress back in 2004 or something, 2005. So I found this blogging software. I installed it. I started messing with the themes and stuff. I started learning about PHP. I didn't know anything about PHP, but I knew a little bit of programming. And after about a year or so, I became pretty proficient at it. And then after that, I had my own blog. It was getting a lot of hits. It was called ZenoMax.com. Well, I still have it. I don't actually update it now. But that blog grew. I had like almost 30,000-40,000 hits per day. It was a blog about just gadgets, hacks, and stuff that I was interested in. And then I ran into this problem where, my servers would go down because I have too many hits. So I would find new methods. Now I'm running Nginx. I can run low balance servers with Nginx reverse proxy. I've got about 20, 30 different dedicated servers doing different things. So that's kind of what, it was very interesting to me because I hate paying people for stuff like that, and that saved me a ton of money. I probably save thousands of dollars every month now, just doing everything myself. But that's how I got into phones also, because all these Android phones were running Linux. My first smartphone, well, not like a touch smartphone, was Palm Pre, and I did a bunch of hacks, for it to run like WordPress on it. Actually, I was the world's first person to run a WordPress blog on a smartphone, which was the Palm Pre. And then when Nexus 1 came out, I just kind of grabbed it and, did the same thing. And I just, I just saw that Android growth was going to be huge. So I kind of got into it, and it's huge now. So that's how I got into it. It's kind of a background of what I've been doing. But it's always been fun for me. I've never did it to make any money. While I was blogging and making most of my money from blogging on ZenoMax.com, it was like a little hobby. I had a hobby site, PalmPre-hacks.com, PalmPre-hacks.com, and then it was Nexus1Hacks.net. It was still kind of a hobby. And then something really bad happened to my blogging, like all this SEO and changes, and I suddenly lost all of this traffic. So I started, making more of these smartphone sites because it's kind of interested me, and I knew it was going to make some money also in advertising and stuff. So I started focusing more on it, and Android kind of grew. So that's where I'm at, and that's what I'm doing now. I don't know what I want to do next, so I'm right now like pondering what I want to do next, because I don't want to be doing the same thing for the rest of my life. I'm always changing, and the thing with programming is, you got to find a way to make it fun for yourself. Also, if you're out of college, you got to make a way to make a living. And if you can mix the programming and making a living together, that's the best way. So all these little things you learn, they can come together and help you hack stuff. But really, for me, it was web programming that really got me into it. Because I run all these web server hacks and stuff, it's kind of easy for me to understand Android also, because it's based on Linux kernels. So that's what it is. Anyway, if you have any if you have any ideas for future vlogs, don't forget to leave in the comment section, and I'll do another vlog soon. Anyway, I hope this helped you understand how I got to this, and if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them. Anyway, have a great day and stay really high on Android.